Okay, the door into the garage, between the garage and the living space, it should have a self-closing spring on it. That deadbolt doesn't work very well either. Deadbolt doesn't work very well. Should have a self-closing spring. One, two, three, four more steps should have a handrail. And then the garage passenger door doesn't have a self-closing spring, and it has the deadbolt does not make well. The insulation along the door, looks like a dog chewed that up pretty good. The fire suppression system is beyond the scope of this inspection. So it's right here in the garage, north interior wall. I haven't found a main water shutoff valve. Coming across here, this is the garage overhead door. It's a wooden door, and it does not have pull handles inside of it, but a lot of people use these rails. So I just kind of leave it at that. That's the way I do it at my house. The manual door lock has not been decommissioned to help prevent accidental damage to the door. The door button should not be closer than 5 feet to the floor, or the threshold, or the garage floor, so little hands don't come up here and do that. Spring tension notices are not on the door. Optic sensors are higher than 6 inches from the floor. And a warning notice is not posted on the door or on this switch. That might be the main water shutoff valve. That's kind of interesting little gizmo. We'll look at that in a minute. That's the safety reverse. We're not air conditioned in Texas. This is the lawn sprinkler system. There's a rain sensor. It is labeled. Now on your electric service panels, we got two load centers, 200 amps each. According to the labeling, one of the condensing units is overfused. Mathematically, they cannot all be properly fused. So this is the north one, the one on the right. We got an open knockout here at the top of it. You should have little plastic booties on tops of these. I don't think it's even required when this home was built 5 years ago. Not 5 years ago, I don't think it was required. Maybe. The cables should not be in direct contact with the dead front cover plates. And these panels were screwed in. Screws are nice and fast. See that? A little drywall screw right there. They're fast and tight. I get that. But they don't have the same shear strength that nails do. So if this structure experienced a tornado, for example, these boxes would stand a much better chance of staying in place if they had been properly installed. And then these are not, they're not all labeled. And they're hand printed. They're supposed to be printed, not hand printed. So they're not properly labeled. This is the anchor, the ground rod to the house. And you'll notice this floor right here. You see a big gap. I'll pay attention to it another time. In one of these other videos, was it the swimming pool video or the exterior video? Coming along, multitasking. This door, the west door to the west side yard. Not doing something wrong. But the weather stripping on this door is none better, none the worse for wear. This is the overflow for the fire suppression system. That's fine. Electric power is coming in above grade. We got a decent drip loop. We've got 2 grounds. Yay! Gas comes in on the west side. We got a little too much water pressure. These condensing units are too close to the structure. The train thinks that they should belong about 10-12 inches away from the structure. So, this one's not level. And these pads are supposed to elevate them a minimum of 3 inches above grade. Then on this one, the Schrader valve cap is missing. 90% of your leaks are at those refrigerant service valves. And then when these things were installed, this foam was not to be used. It doesn't meet the energy standards. It should be a rigid protective foam. So all these are missing that. These are the dead fronts, and I believe this is pretty consistent, but this one for sure, you've got an open knockout in the bottom of the dead front and the bottom of the electric service disconnect, and they should be sealed and they should be located. See how this is like all whacked up like that? They shouldn't be behind the units. That's the electric service receptacle. That shouldn't be behind the unit like that. So the people had to take the cover off to make it work, to get some juice. This shouldn't be back here like this. There's the data plate. More of the same. So I think it's 5 tons, 3 tons, 2.5 tons. The 14. Let's see, did I get any more? They're a minimum of 14. There's another data plate. Another open knockout. Another open knockout. Data plate. So one of these puppies is overfused. I think it's him. Again, not seeing a weep screed. I'm seeing some cracks. Wow. See the way this soft stuff just breaks apart? And in the crawl space, it's completely missing from one of the refrigerant lines. Completely missing. This is a sump pump. We talked about that. Rain gutter's below grade. It's pretty interesting. Is that what I was looking at? That might not have been what I was looking at in the crawl space. The refrigerant lines. That might have been cold water piping. I'm not sure. This is a better view. The same thing. We got our water heater as your thermostat. The gas valve. See, nobody took that tape off to dial it in. Also, we do not have a sediment trap for this one. Had a sediment trap for the other one, I believe. Didn't have it for the furnaces. We had it for that. So one of them doesn't have a sediment trap. Moving on along, just like the others, we got a shallow P-trap that's not insulated. We did not have a sediment trap. Now it's not supported, it's not suspended with perforated tape. That's different. We have a care and use manual like the others. So more similarities than differences. Got the condensation line, but I'm not seeing a filter for that. For the furnace condensate, air filter's at. So pretty much routine.